Hello, everybody. Oh, welcome back. Thank you for joining us once again at the Stone and Starlight Carnival on the Critical Mrs. Twitch channel. My name is Abby Gellner. I use she, her pronouns, and it is my honor and privilege to invite you to a session of Under Hollow Hills, a role playing game by Meggie and Vincent Baker, in which we portray the performers and workers in a traveling circus that moves between fairyland and the mortal world. Before we begin, allow me the pleasure of introducing our cast. Uh, Please introduce yourselves, your name, pronouns, as well as your character's name and pronouns. And I'm going to pass it off to Pluto to start us off.
Everyone, I'm Pluto. My pronouns are they, them. I will be playing Grace Daffodil Moonbeam, and their pronouns are she, her, and they are the Lantern Jack.
Could you pass it to someone else, please?
Allegro.
Hello. Hi, I'm Allegra. I use they, any pronouns. I am playing Colibri Clover, who is the feather cloak, kind of a bit of a hummingbird, tea connoisseur, acrobatics, singer, all that jazz. And they use they, her pronouns. Max.
Hi, I'm Max. I use he, they pronouns, and I play Calix, who is the crowned stag and also uses he, they pronouns. Peku.
Hello. My name is Peko. My pronouns are they, them. I am playing Gento, whose pronouns are also they, them, and they are the troll. And they are just some guy, little guy.
Just a little guy. It's his birthday. Come on.
You wouldn't hit a little
Yes.
guy.
Not on his birthday.
And as I said before, my name is Abby Gellner. I use she, her pronouns. And I have the extreme pleasure and privilege of being your mistress of ceremonies this evening, the voice of the people and places that the circus encounters whilst on tour. A quick recap for last time. Our merry band was invited to play at the betrothal of former circus member Malin Lively to her sweetheart Rosa Redbloom. When they arrived, they found that Malin's ex-lover, the fairy noble Ariowin of the Dale, had crashed the wedding to make one last play for her hand. Calix effectively distracted Ariowin, while Gento and Colibri learned what the brides-to-be and the guests were hoping for that evening. After the ceremony went off with only a slight hitch, the circus put on a stellar performance, blessing the new couple with good luck and happiness in the years to come. Now we find ourselves on the road again, but there's one more question that needs to be answered. Where in the world is Grace Daffodil Moonbeam? We find ourselves flying over the boughs of a forest in full summer, the green leaves tinged crimson by the setting sun in the west. The distant thrum of engines and the tinge of smog, even here in the countryside, tells us that we've crossed over into the mortal realm. Down past the canopy of trees, we see 5 young mortals hiking through the woods. Each of them carries some piece of clothing or equipment branded with the name Elvum College. They chatter and tease one another, as young mortals do, until they come to an old graveyard cradled among the oak trees. In a coming-of-age ceremony as old as time is itself, the mortals sit, share food, and wait for darkness to fall, daring one another to give in to the fear that grows in each of their hearts. And that's when Grace shows up. Grace Daffodil, Moonbeam, please let us know, describe yourself and your wagon, and how you make your entrance into this tableau.
Okay. So Grace is very short. They're about 5 foot tall. Like dark blonde hair, like red eyes, just full clown makeup, white face with red diamonds and a black spade on the other cheek, and a black and red leather studded jacket with one of those little Harley Quinn type vests, like the black and red diamonds, and just leather pants. I assume they just like their cart just skids into the graveyard from seemingly nowhere. And as it skids into the graveyard and the beetle pops out of the inside of the cart, not steering it for some reason, Grace is just thrown out the door of the cart itself and just rolls and like looks up like this to the five I'm assuming goth kids sitting there.
As far as you can tell, only one of them is goth. However, they do the natural thing that happens when you're in a graveyard at night and suddenly a clown shows up. They scream.
Grace screams back. Just starts screaming at him. But she's laughing as she does it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Eventually, they realize that you are not apparently trying to stab them, and one of them one of them who is a tall woman with short black hair and a very strong jawline, who's dressed in athletic gear, kind of goes up to you, looking at you with curiosity and a little bit of curiosity, surprise, and some amusement now that it's clear that you're not actually a murderer. And she picks up a stick from the ground and just pokes you with it.
I just like do the little Pillsbury Doughboy giggle when they poke me. And then I'm going to just fully kip up and do like a little bow. Hi, everybody. I'm Grace. Is this where the wedding is?
All the people, all the humans look at one another. Like, wedding? You have a wedding? Two of them look at each other, blush, and then look away again. And the one who poked you says, nah, sorry. This is a graveyard. It's kind of the opposite of a wedding.
Oh, yeah, that probably wouldn't really set the mood, would it? You're smart. I like you. I must have took a wrong turn somewhere. Stanley, where are we supposed to go? And I'm just turning and start talking to the big giant horn beetle outside of my cart.
Does the stag beetle that pulls your cart, does it normally talk, or do you just like talking to it?
Ooh. If it can talk, it can talk. I don't care. That'd be great.
All right.
It's a giant rhinoceros beetle.
Yeah. So Stanley, who's about the size of, a large cow, just goes, I haven't got the foggiest, boss.
How were we in the cart? I was just trying to find the present. I think I got lost at the props again. We really got to organize them there a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when there's even more wide eyes as you start having this conversation with the cow-sized stag beetle or rhinoceros beetle. Mm-hmm. One of the other kids stands up. He's a kid with thick glasses, very well-kept hair. He's like got the hipster beard, and he's wearing very tight jeans and a flannel shirt. Kind of goes, okay, I know when we're being punked. This is goes up to Stanley and just kind of knocks on Stanley's chitin. Goes, yeah, very, very realistic, very funny. And the goth girl in the back, who has dark skin, very well kept braids, says, "Oh my God, Mark. Do you think that they would ship out a giant animatronic beetle to the middle of Ohio?"
Oh, you made me go to Ohio. I already live here.
I went to college there. I had to.
That's okay. Oh, I'm in Ohio. Oh, I really took a wrong turn. But no, Stanley's real. I don't know what an animatron. I don't know what that is. But Stanley, show him, and I just like gesture for Stanley, like fly up and do some flips and stuff.
Yeah, Stanley. His. I used to know the word for this, like the shell that covers his wings.
The carapace.
Yeah, the carapace flares up, and a pair of powerful wings start whirring like helicopter blades, kicking up dust all around this graveyard. And Stanley hovers about 3 feet off the ground and then just lands with a thud and goes, "That's all I got in the tank, boss.
That's a record for you. You're getting better.
Thanks. Wanted to put on a show for the kids."
It was fantastic. You're definitely going to have to be in the next show. I think we can do some cool tricks. So what are you guys doing? You want to come to a wedding?
Let's see here. Who have we not talked to yet? So another mortal who is a girl with very long blonde hair, kind of all bundled up, goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. We can't. We were just..." And the kid who poked you speaks up again and says, "And we're just here for the night, to see the ghost." Silly, isn't it? But hey.
I don't know. I've met some ghosts in my time. They're really fun. There was this one though that was really like he was really a drag. It's like he died or something. I don't know. But I think you guys would have really fun at the wedding. Like there's so many cool things, and it's in like this really cool place. And there's some other people in my circus that are there. There's Colibri and there's Genta doesn't really like me much. They're kind of mean. And then there's Cal. Cal's cool, but they're kind of stern, but they have a soft side, so it'll be okay. I think you guys would really have fun, and I have so much stuff in my cart, and I want to dare them to follow me.
Oh, okay. All right. I will come back to what I was going to say earlier. So let's take a look at that move. So when you dare someone to follow you, if they do roll on any hit, you choose one of the following, and we'll go over that after you roll.
With a +2, that will be a 9.
All right. So yeah, choose one of the following. You can ask them where their greed, lust, or ambition would take them. Ask them where their heart, dreams, or fate would take them. Lead them to wonderful treasure. Lead them to a trackless place and abandon them up to their knees in cold muck water. Lead them to the best seats in the circus, and later they'll find they paid a premium to sit there. You lead them wherever you want.
I want to lead them to my circus. Like, let's go find my circus people.
Perfect, because I was going to do this anyway. Because as you're speaking, the air kind of shifts a bit. There's some odd quality in the way of the woods where you're not in a different place. You're still in the mortal world, but if any of these kids attempted to leave this old graveyard in the middle of the woods now, they'd be lost. They don't know it yet, but that's the truth. As the rest of the circus, you start to walk with them, and the rest of the circus is there. Because as we know, time moves differently between the world of the fairies and the world of mortals. So for you, it's only been a couple of minutes since you separated from the circus. For them, it's been several days. So I believe the last one you mentioned was Cal. So Calix, how do we find you as your circus arrives in this graveyard in the mortal world?
How long has it been for us since the events of the last episode?
I would say that it's been about 3 days, give or take.
And are we actively looking for Grace right now, or do we just end up here?
What do you think? Were you looking for Grace?
After 3 days, at least, I think so. If we arrive here, I think he's always reading when they're traveling, so he puts like a haphazard bookmark in his book, and he comes to the front and pops his head out the window, and it's dark, and so he squints and lets his eyes adjust, and then he sees this scene with these teenagers And Grace, so while we were working, you were out here doing cheap tricks for children.
What do you mean working? I'm on my way to the wedding. Did you guys come to pick me up? It's only been like 10 minutes.
Grace, what's today?
They start pulling out these scarves from their thing that have different days written on them.
Stop. Don't, because then you're going to have to reel it back up. The wedding was 3 days ago. You missed it.
Oh. Well, that sucks. I made new friends, though. I think I'm going to keep them. Which one do you want? The one in the hoodie is mine, and I point to the one that had the stick that poked me.
We cannot keep these young mortals without their consent, or I think their parents' consent. It might be how that works. Don't listen to her. Unless, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Are you all okay?
I think the goth girl kind of goes forward and says, wait a minute. Oh shit. You're all fairies, aren't you?
Takes
And sorry, she doesn't laugh. That was me. Because I was gonna say the hipster kid kind of punches her in the shoulder and says, "Oh my god, you can't say that." But then you come out with that line and she goes, "No, I mean literal fairies, Mark."
Happy Pride, everyone.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I mean, at least the cast were all fairies.
It's not, considering we perform in the mortal world, it's not like some big secret that we're fairies, right?
It's
Or
not
is
some
it?
secret that so it's one of those things where you show up and you're fairies no matter where you are. It's up to the mortals whether or not they believe you. You're not likely to run into government agents trying to kidnap you or anything like that, though.
Okay, cool.
I say, what's a fairy? And then I do a smile that's way too wide that a mortal could do. Like it stretches all the way up to my ears.
Yeah. I think at that, the last mortal who hadn't said anything and been kind of hiding behind the blonde girl just goes, oh geez, we oh god, we got to get out of here. Turns to the blonde girl. Paula, can we just go? Can we please go, Paula? And Paula's like, I don't think we're in danger. They're just a little weird.
You think I'm weird?
I mean, they're definitely talking about you because I'm not weird. We're all best friends, and I go over and just like hook arms with one of them, just whoever's closest to me.
Okay. Calibri or Gento, who comes out next?
I think I've like appeared next to the one who's like, we gotta get out of here. Like, oh no, it's fine. Grace can hurt a fly, but like often doesn't, Also, Grace, careful, sometimes your face gets stuck that way.
Calibri, and I just run and like jump at you.
Oh gosh, hello. Hello again.
I'm like piggybacked on your back now.
Delightful. I'm just like honey cake over the shoulder.
Yeah. So apparently I missed the wedding. Was it fun? Did they miss me? Did they cry? I would have cried if I didn't see me.
There were definitely tears, and they were mostly tears of joy. Your presence was, as always, missed.
I
don't know how I got lost. I feel like Stanley took a wrong turn.
Don't blame this on me.
You're the one that drives.
I'm just the propulsion system. You're the one with the reins.
Yeah, but I usually just tie those off and go in the car. It's up to you. You should know that. I left a map out for you.
Was it upside down again?
Maybe. Which way up is it again? It's the S goes on top, right?
Only sometimes.
Oh well.
Remember, you have to do your trick. You have to flip the coin, and then the coin will tell you which side goes north that time.
Oh.
That's definitely how that works.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll have to write that down, and I just like roll up the sleeve jacket and just pull a marker out and write it on my forearm.
Right. Gento, what are you doing?
Gento would be like appearing as if like trying to catch up to Cal and Colibri, and in the midst of saying something along the lines of, no, really, it's a song I made, and we're going to Ohio, and then it's literally just goes Ohio, Ohio. Sees the teenagers there and goes, they try to make me go to rehab, but I don't know. No.
Yeah. The hipster Mark just kind of rolls his eyes and goes, "Okay, now I know we're being pranked or something, because nobody sings that anymore."
Oh, do you want me to prank you? Okay, hold on. Shake my hand.
I think that's gonna have to be a move. Mark here is pretty cynical, so I think you're gonna have to. Seems like you may be trying to draw him out.
Okay, draw them out. Where are my stats? I have a 0 at that, but that is a 9.
All right. On a 7 to 9, you can either. So one thing you can do is draw him out into this prank. That could be the thing you choose, or you can choose something from the list, like asking, "What is he considering? Where is he open to me? What is he forgetting?" Etc.
I want to draw him into the prank, and it's totally just one of like those joy buzzers, but it's like way stronger than it should be, and it's gonna like static everything on him and his hair and all that stuff.
Yeah, his hair and finely kept mustache they stick out on end like it's like in a cartoon. Like, it doesn't really work that way in real life, and yet here it does. And he goes, "Yeah, ow! Okay. You know what? You do that again, I'm gonna sue."
What's Sue? Is she nice?
You don't want that. None of that. Definitely too complicated for us.
Wait, I know the next lyrics. Grace has been bad, but when she comes back, we'll know. No.
Grace jumps behind
That's
Gento and
right.
just starts backup dancing.
So at that, the one who appears to be the leader, the one who's still holding that stick that she poked Grace with, says, "Okay. Maybe we should do some introductions. Hi, I'm Laura. I'm a senior at Eltham College. I am a shoot, what is her major? I wrote it down. I'm a communications major.
Sorry. There's a communications major. I'm like, okay.
I cringed a little bit.
The blonde girl says, "Hi, I'm Paula." The little skinny kid behind Paula goes, "Jude." The goth girl says, "I'm Violet." And finally, hipster, gets his hair back in. Is like he has like one of those like switchblade combs, and he's like getting his hair back in order. And he says, "And I'm Mark." So, and Laura says, "And so, yeah. Hope you don't mind me asking, like, why are you in this graveyard?"
Well,
This would be a good time for BB to suddenly appear.
Grace bats up like 10 feet.
well, we've come to collect our friend.
Who?
You, Grace.
Oh.
Unless you'd like us to replace you with one of them.
BB did really well in the last show. You better watch yourself.
I don't know if they're up to it. One of you guys want to be a clown with me? I just pull out like a full makeup kit.
Grace, I thought I was your duo act.
Yeah, but you do all the aerial stuff too. They can fit in. It'll be fine.
So I think at the clown thing, Jude, the really scared skinny one, kind of like perks up a little bit. It's like, huh. And but Violet, the goth, kind of steps in between and goes, all right. So yeah, I get it. You're fairies. You're here, and yeah, okay. I read about this. And she like stands up to her full height, which is about 5'2", and says, "You are on our campus, technically. So therefore, I am invoking host right." And so essentially she has claimed that she is your host, and you must treat her accordingly, which means you can't do anything to harm her or her friends, and you don't have to do what she says, but that also means you're under her protection as well.
That made sense. We are in a graveyard, so it would make sense that this is your graveyard. Do all goths get a graveyard? Is that like a thing?
Oh, I think I've read about this somewhere.
Yeah,
This
like
is
right?
not-
It's like Tim Burton wrote something about this.
I appreciate your study of our customs, but I hesitate to believe that you own this graveyard. Not that we had any intent to hurt you anyway. Like I said, we're here to collect our friend.
She reaches into her wallet and pulls out a card that says Elvam College Historical Preservation Society
Oh my God.
President. And she says,
Ooh.
This cemetery has been on our campus since 1831. And as the president of the Historical Preservation Society, it is, in fact, kind of under my protection.
I'm gonna pass the card around the group.
Gento raises a hand in confusion, like just absolute confusion. Like, I'm under the impression that colleges are state-owned.
It's a private campus.
Oh, are you the kid of the owners?
No, I'm just the president of the Historical Preservation Society, which includes which the cemetery is under the purview of.
I believe we are beating a dead horse. What is it that you would like for us in invoking your host rights?
And she kind of stops and goes, hadn't thought that far.
I have honey cakes.
What's a honey cake?
Oh, you should try one. They're really
so
good.
delicious. Here you go.
Oh, they're really good.
I have more, and I roll my barrel over and just think honey cakes and open it, and it's just filled with honey cakes.
That's where those went.
Well, the barrel just has whatever, so.
Colibri, are you making the move serving someone tea and honey cakes?
You know, I think it would be fun. Why not?
All right.
Let's see. Me trying to remember. I think I have a +2 in this. I do. Okay. Let's see. Ooh. And going up on Wednesday. Where? Oh, let's go. Aha. Okay. Yeah. Ooh. Well, the first one's 6. Okay. 10.
Wonderful. So on a hit, they may, as they wish, become invisible until the next setting of the spheres, sun or moon. And I think just for comedic effect, she does turn invisible right away. Goes, ah! Luckily, the sun is about to set, so it's not going to take too long. But you can also choose one of the following. Choose one of the following that they may, if they wish, also receive: comfort, calm, and courage, good fortune and increase, up to and including a coming child, progress towards summer, insight into the weakness of their rival or enemy, or some favor of the one they name, and if their intended refuses, it's an insult to you, your magic, your tea, and your cakes all.
I would like to bestow upon our new friend a little bit of good fortune.
Yep. So she like vanishes. Just 1 minute she's there, minute she's not. And Paula goes, "Oh my God, Violet, are you okay?" And Violet's like, "Yeah, I'm." Oh my God.
Invisibility
I'm invisible.
looks great
Of
on
course,
you.
Violet goes invisible.
The Incredibles called? They want their movie back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mark makes that same joke, actually. It's just like, oh, it's like you're Violet from The Incredibles now. And at that minute, the sun just goes down and she appears again and goes, "Dang. Okay, well, that was cool. But
Wasn't it?
yeah."
I gave you a
And-
gift, so what's our gift now? Since you're the host.
Oh, and she reaches into her backpack, rummages around a bit, and pulls out. What does she have? Oh, she actually pulls out a 6-pack of beer and says, "Would you like one?"
Sure.
Yep. She hands one to you. Luckily, there's no iron in beer cans, so I think you're good.
I love not dying from silly little mortal gifts.
Yep. It's really bad beer, but hey, you don't get that very often in the fairy world.
Take a sip, just go, just like dropping
So-
like fairy honey in it. Trying to.
So
Is it good?
Genta doesn't really know how to open beer cans because it hurts their fingers to like open it the way you're supposed to. So Genta gets the beer can, goes to BB and says, "Chomp chomp," and then BB just like chomps a hole at the top, and then Genta goes, "Thank you," and then takes a sip.
That's how you open it.
Goes,
I grab a can and I just bite into the side of it.
Yeah,
There are
it's
two
under
types of
it's been under pressure because it was rustling around in some kid's backpack, so you just get like beer sprayed all over you.
Love it so much.
Hey, what is this, Gento?
Genta kind of like tastes like grass and cardboard. Think it's great.
That sounds disgusting.
No, it kind of tastes like refreshing but earthy.
Okay.
So I think while the four of you are discussing the merits of your beer, the 5 humans huddle up a bit and start whispering among themselves, trying to figure out, like, okay, now we've got a fairy circus here. What are we gonna do? So if any of you wants to eavesdrop or interrupt, you may. But
I would love to.
Can I use my vanish thing and just disappear and reappear in the huddle and try to like see, like just act like I'm like one of the like people huddled up and see if try to like roll high so they don't notice.
yeah, so I heard that, and I also heard Calibri. So I just want to make sure Calibri also gets her say.
I just wanted to eavesdrop. This is going to make that 10 times funnier, though.
Yeah, I think we can do both, for sure. So, just for one thing, just want to make sure with Lantern Jack here, what move are you using?
I'm
Are you
using
move?
when you vanish.
Oh, this
Says
could be
on a
fun.
yeah, so it could work. It could do something else.
All right, roll.
That's an 8 on the die, so that will be a 10 on the dot.
All right, on a 10 plus hit, you've gone. Tell me where you reappear.
Yeah, I reappear in the huddle, like as one of them huddled up, like just like slip right in.
I think it takes them a few moments to notice you because you just kind of insert yourself in so cleanly. And Jude, the shy one, is saying, "Well, yeah, I mean, they said clowns, so I guess they're like a circus. That's kind of cool, right?"
Yeah, I think they
And
might be a circus. I really like that thought. Like the little one, Grace, she's pretty good. I think I've seen this show before. We should totally stay.
All right. And Colibri, how are you eavesdropping before this immediately turns into a craziness?
That's a great question. I don't know if I have anything particularly special. Oh, I do have Hideaway. Where I can no one can find me, no matter how carefully they search, and no trouble alights on you. I can choose when to emerge. Oh boy, this can lead to some interesting things if I get less than a 10. Does that work?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll it.
Ooh, that's a 12.
All right.
Amazing.
So on a 12, no one can find you no matter how carefully they search, and no trouble alights you. And you don't need to choose. So yeah, you are just invisible, effectively invisible. So how do you hide away?
I think I use my feather. I think I use my I have my little tiny gold crown, or I can just turn into a bird. And so I think I do that. And I turn into kind of small one and just kind of like sit on like a branch or a gravestone, like right behind everybody, or like in the midst somewhere that I can just kind of listen.
Yeah. And I think in true Looney Tunes fashion, even after Grace chimes in, they just keep talking. Like, yeah. So Paula says, like, well, I don't know, like, what we were here to see. We're here to see the ghost, and it seemed that having a circus around kind of seems a little kind of not thematically appropriate. Does that make any sense? Thematically appropriate? And Laura says, I mean, on the other hand, it'd be kind of cool to have like a supernatural circus around while we're waiting to see if the ghost shows up.
Maybe the circus will be so good that the ghost will show up to watch too.
Yeah, exact. And everyone turns as one to stare at you at that. And
what are we looking
and then
at?
just kind of all like, they all kind of, the whole huddle just kind of tumbles out as everyone like trips over themselves, wondering when you were there and how long you've been there.
Wait, what happened? I thought we were talking.
And Mark goes, yeah, we were talking. Us.
Yeah.
You go hang out with them. No, you're not.
Yeah, but I see them all the time. You're new.
You're not with us.
I'm not with you? That's so mean. Jude, Mark's being mean to me. And I push Jude forward.
And Jude kind of goes, I don't look at me, don't look at me. And meantime, Cal, we haven't heard from you in a bit. While this nonsense is happening, what are you doing?
I think he has the wisdom to kind of let the people involved figure this out on their own. So I think they are kind of just observing the scenario. They had about 2 sips of the beer before deciding that it's disgusting, called it swill, and then put it very gently on the ground. Then maybe just taking a lap, kind of not going too far from the caravan, just to see what else is around, if I can see any of the buildings, this campus that they talked about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so your very presence, and by you I mean the circus, your very presence tends to kind of unhitch wherever you are in the mortal realm from the rest of the mortal realm. So you are able, with your sight and your knowledge of the way magic works, you are able, in fact, to see the distant lights of a small liberal arts campus out in the distance. It's not much to look at. A lot of cool old stone buildings, and a few ugly ones that were built in the 70s, but otherwise not much to look at. The things you notice more are this forest around you is old, and it's old. It's very old, but especially by mortal world standards. It's clear that whoever, whenever humans settled here, when the college was founded and before that as well, people had the sense to leave this area mostly alone. And you see fireflies beginning to swarm around, blinking their soft lights. You see rabbits hopping and bouncing around, chewing on grass. You catch glimpses of a fox darting between the roots of trees. And far in the shadows, you see something much larger moving around with a strange sort of grace for something that large, moving on silent feet.
I would like to follow. Is this something that constitutes a step into the woods?
I would, say yes, because that's more fun. Yes, let's take a look at that. So, Crownstag, when you step into the woods, roll. You can bring friends with you and you invite them. You're not bringing friends with you this time. So this can take you someplace specific. So please roll.
That's an 8 total.
All right. On any hit, choose one of the following. You're in a wild orchard. You're in a place of comfort and leisure. You're in the dark woods. You're at a hunting lodge. Or you're at a place of wild beauty.
Wild beauty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you step into the woods, and with your connection to forests everywhere, being the child of a forest king, you're able to kind of move from this mortal Midwestern United States forest into something more primordial. And soon you find yourself surrounded by trees that make the ones that you left behind look like twigs. And the stars overhead are far brighter, far closer. There's no light pollution here whatsoever. It's not a cloud in the sky, just bright starlight illuminating a stone circle, a circle of standing stones, and in the center of which is a burbling spring of water.
I think, okay, so I intentionally have rolled for this, but Calix, I think, did not mean to end up here. And is kind of just like walking, trying to follow, and it's like, oh, this is gorgeous. Oh, shit. Okay.
I will say that because that was a success, you can probably return easily enough.
Yeah.
But
is there any kind of information that I can glean here about what kind of creature, spirit, etc., might be lurking around?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, roll to sniff the wind.
Sniff the wind. Oh, yes, this is. It says on my sheet, no roll, use your trappings.
That you want the one above that.
Oh, that also says no roll, call for a line. I'll just roll it. I have stat for it.
Yeah, sorry. There's it's in between call for a line and use your trappings.
Okay, it is.
Character sheet.
Yeah. Oh, that was a very good roll. That's a 10.
Nice. So you can ask 2 from this list. What's coming this way? What's here that I haven't seen? Whose territory is this? If I trust my feet to carry me to safety, where will they take me? How could I make myself invisible here? And if I trust my node to lead me to the heart of this, where would it take me? So you get to ask 2 questions from that list.
I would like whose territory is this? In like the eyes of the forest, whose place is this really?
Do you mean the forest that you left, or this kind of sliver of primordial forest you've entered?
The forest that I've left.
Okay. Yes. So you can tell just by literally the smell on the wind that the creature that you glimpsed in the distance earlier, it's entirely of the mortal world. It's not a being of your world. It's something ancient, almost unspeakably so. It's old in the same way that the hills are old. It's not intelligent the way that you are or humans are. It's an animal. And yet, in the way of extremely old animals, it has a certain wiliness and wisdom to it, and it knows its territory and that you are in it. And the fact that you remain is because it allows you to do so.
Okay. And then I want to ask if I like allow the getting to the heart of this place, one, where will it take me?
So if I trust my nose to lead me
That's
to the
what
heart of this, yes, where would it take you next? Yeah, your instincts tell you that all this weirdness that's happening right now, it's definitely centered on the graveyard you left. You don't know if it's the students who are there that's there because of, or it's the graveyard itself, but there's something, you overheard the kids talking about a ghost. You don't know if there's a ghost, but there is something there.
Okay. I'm going to head back.
Mm-hmm. All right. Gento, what have you been up to?
Definitely, as soon as Calyx left the can of beer, Gento goes and picks it up, says, "Well, they did say no littering," and then finishes their can, then starts sipping Calyx's can, and then goes. Did Gento hear the group talking about the ghost and circus and all of that?
I'm going to say no, because you weren't actively eavesdropping on them the way that Grace and Colibri were. But you do, see them all kind of trip over themselves as Grace gives the game away, and you see a bird fly off that may be Colibri. You're not sure. It's impossible to tell.
Okay. Gento goes towards the group and says, "So what are we talking about?"
All the kids look at each other for a bit, and finally the goth kid says, "Would you like to perform for us?"
And Gento is like, I may have drank a little, a lot. Perform in what sense?
Well, you're a circus, right? Not you, just
Yes.
all of you.
You want a show? We can do a show.
But for what?
Well, and at that point, Laura chimes in and says, "So, okay, here's the thing. It's a tradition at the school that when you are getting ready to graduate, you need to spend the night here in the cemetery to essentially prove that you made it out and everything like that. And it's beautiful here and everything, but also it's so boring. So yeah, if you could just if we could just have something fun to do for a bit, because It's better than just looking around and waiting to see if a ghost shows up, you know?
Oh, okay. Okay. So I have a proposal, Calibri, Grace. Let me know what you think. So, from my understanding about ghosts, they usually show up either to mess things up or just to hang out. So, what if we show the ghost a good time? Like, we're having a great time, kind of like offer it to the ghost that time, that energy, that vibe, and then it'll come because it'll get jealous or it gets, like excited that we're having such a great time without, doing anything blasphemous or sacrilegious towards the graves because they should really get their rest.
I'm going to like unbird myself and like hang upside down from a nearby branch and just be like, ooh, that could be fun. We could also do something a little scary, make them feel at home.
Yeah. Because
Kinda
like
scary.
familiarity and all of that. I think that's what's going to make this work.
Oh, I think we need to know the ghost's name then. What ghost are we trying to summon again?
And Violet speaks up and says, her name is, and she thinks for a minute, Barbara Hitchens. She was a professor, one of the first female professors at a college around here long ago, and people say she was buried here, and people say her ghost is still here to this day.
We'll put on a great, funny, scary show, and Babs will come out and enjoy it, and it'll be a great time.
Is it Babs or Barbs?
Well, Babs is short for Barb. I don't remember the rest of it. Jude, you gonna be a clown with me? You want to be part of the show? I know you wanna. I saw your face brighten up.
I think you need to draw him out.
Okay.
So are you down to clown? Literally.
Are you down to clown? Oh, that's a 10 on the dice, and I have 0, so that's a 10 on the dot.
Nice. All right. Ask them 2 of the following, and fool 2 of the following. Yes.
Okay, let's see.
I feel like we've gotten really lucky with these dice so far.
Yeah, I have 6 dice out.
It's kind of
These two-
scary.
I rolled
these two-
so
these
bad
two
last
are-
session. I
I'm
deserve
I'm
it.
only using these 2 because they're rolling hot right now. Where's draw them out on this page? Let's see.
We did have some struggles last time around, but apparently not as bad as the show before that.
Where is draw them out? In here.
With this going on, like,
Oh, there it is.
Gento goes to the cart with BB, gets like a sheet of paper and starts like sketching a blueprint of, like a rough blueprint of all of the graves that are there, and then starts like drawing like a schematic of like how the show would look like.
Nice.
So I guess I'm gonna do what are you considering to see if they're gonna go with being down the clown with me. And then I want to ask them why they're so afraid, because they've been very skittish this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Good question. So what is he considering? He is considering being down to clown. You can tell just by looking, like he admires you, and he's like looking at the circus, the carts, all of the various performers that are, they're milling around doing their own thing. So are you asking what are you afraid you'll do? What is he afraid you'll do? Is that one?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, he's been kind of scared since I fell in their laps. So
yeah. I think he's afraid that you will. He's afraid that you'll awaken something in him, something he's not ready to confront right now.
Aren't we all?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm like, I pull out the little clown kit again. Come on, it'll be fun. I can get you all clowned up, and I can show you the ropes, and it'll be a great time.
And he looks at Paula, and Paula just kind of goes like, "Yeah, okay." And yeah, he lets you lead him away.
Awesome. I take him into the wagon and get him all clowned up.
All right, we'll come back to that. So, Calix, when you return, you see people are. It's not very different than what you left per se, except you see Grace leading one of these mortals towards their wagon, which who knows? But what do you do?
I think seeing Grace leading one of the mortals into her wagon, I will look for Colibri to ask what is going on while I was gone.
From upside down on the tree branch. We were just discussing about hosting a performance here at the graveyard to attempt to summon a Barbara Hitchens. Apparently she used to teach here something. And we were just discussing how we could do that while still being respectful to the graves and also being spooky about it. I think Grace just recruited a new clown.
Okay, that explains that. They are right. There's something in the woods around here, but I don't know if it wasn't really giving me a Barbara Hitchens vibe.
Oh, unfortunate. Do we think that a performance would scare them off or draw them closer?
I mean, it didn't seem hostile per se. Just old. Very old. Like my father, old.
Oh, that is quite old.
That being said, I can't imagine the last time a performance took place here. It might be appreciated.
Well, who are we to deny a spot without entertainment, a good show?
This is the last thing I saw myself doing today, but here we are.
Isn't this just every other day for you?
No, every other day for me is reading my book and practicing my routine while we move from town to town to perform, not finding Grace having adopted a bunch of young adult mortals and turning one of them, and they look worriedly towards Grace's cart, into a clown.
Well, I don't know if we need more clowns, but like they're fun to have around.
They're fun to have around. So everybody knew about this. I had stepped away, so we're performing then.
I think so. I mean, I think you have to give the final say so, but that was the plan.
Don't act like I'm in charge. If we're gonna perform, then we can perform.
Delightful.
All right.
Would this be a good time for Gento to like come back with a schematic?
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Gento kind of like, let's just say this is the paper. So Gento does this, and then it's kind of slurring their in their voice, but they don't really hide it. And they're just like, so I figured this out. Yes, I figured this out. So graves, do not desecrate, do not blaspheme, do not sacrilege, because that might make the ghost angry. So we dance around it if there's a dance. We use that part over there, points to like the forested part, as a backdrop, because pretty aesthetics.
True.
And it gives us some space from the graves. So imagine like if the ghost is coming from the forest and we have an audience here, it's like a stage. and part of the show is the ghost.
I like it.
I'm in favor as well.
DB. DB, time for work.
Colbury, there's alcohol in that grass stuff?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Huh.
That was part of the I don't know if earthy taste is the right word there, but it part of, the not sweet bit.
I guess that explains a few things, why people would drink it.
Sorry, I just
Think
love
it's
the
for
idea
health.
of a troll just completely wasted on PBR.
Gendo says
of course it's PBR.
kind of yelling because like they kind of only heard like it tastes. They let Calix understands that why people drink it, and Gendo's like, if it tastes like the earth, that means the earth is gifting us with our health.
I mean, I think I can get my health from a nice Merlot, but to each their own.
And then Gento just starts rummaging and starts like putting a tarp for it to be a stage platform in between, and then kind of like just gets a few candles perhaps. They just go around the caravan asking for like light sources and then starts like arranging it around.
Oh, I have a
Hopefully
whole
not in a
crate of those
dangerous
if you
thing.
need.
Oh, thank you. And then goes to one of the kids. Anyone want to help? Because this is also your project. We need to be like proper group mates.
True.
I think Paula and Laura raised their hands like, oh sure, okay.
Candles. Let's go. I don't trust myself right now to light them.
This is true. Please don't give Gento any matches.
Yeah.
Do we have a fire breather in our circus?
We absolutely can.
Because I would love to fascinate the college students by having the fire breather come out to light all of the candles and torches.
Work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
Work fabulously.
Work ostentatiously or not at all.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call that's Ballybellow Bess is your fire breather, who is a plump elven woman who she eats fire, breathes fire. She loves it. It's her like she's kind of got a problem actually, a little bit of you're like, okay, Bess, are you hitting the matches again? But she puts on a good show, and yeah, she is like, you signaled her, and she just goes, "Got it, boss," and takes out some torches, swallows them, fire, torch, and all, and then just starts like spitting at the candles, little balls of flame, boom, 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 with pinpoint accuracy.
Consider it a pre-show.
And yeah, the many looks of amazement and wonder at this even small demonstration of circus magic at play. But the two, they both have lighters, and they start lighting candles that Bess misses.
If it missed, where did the fireballs go?
As in, she overlooked the candle, not that she missed her mark.
Oh, okay. I was like,
We're not going to start a forest fire, don't worry.
Okay.
Technically,
Whatever's old and in its forest probably
We're
wouldn't
not
like that.
Canada.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go back to Grace's cart. Grace, tell us about the interior of your cart.
It is a labyrinth, like of dressers and shit, What's the movie? Like the hidden room of things in the Harry Potter movies where it's just junk everywhere. That, but like times a million. Like it's so you can't even see the end of it as you walk in the cart. But Grace is gonna lead them through the aisles until they get to like this big like cabinet dresser type thing with let's just completely red. And it like pulls open the cabinet and just pulls this like rod out of the middle and extends it, and it's just a shit ton of different clown stuff that just like unrolls in front of him. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got every type of outfit that you want. Do you want to be a happy clown? Do you want to be a sad clown? We can give you like a wig. What are you thinking? And I just start like I get like a tape measure and just start taking his measurements as he's looking at all the shit that's I just laid out in front of him.
And he's looks a little bit overwhelmed by all the choices, and he goes, "Well, I guess I'd kind of like to be a clown like you."
And I turn back to him. Oh, you're a cute one. And I pinch his cheek, and then I just like scroll through them until I get the exact same outfit that I'm wearing.
Well, maybe a little different, but kind of like you. You're really cool and funny and pretty, and yeah.
Oh, well, here, we'll just change it up just a tad. And I'll just snap my fingers, and the color scheme just shifts. So it's the same outfit, but the colors are swapped. So it's just a palette swapped version of what I'm wearing.
Ooh.
There you go. I think this will be your size if you want to put that on, and then I will do your makeup and we'll get you all set. I have every type of prop. Do you know how to juggle? Do you know how to ride a unicycle? What are you thinking?
Well, in high school I was really good at hula hooping.
Ooh, I have some hula hoops, and I pull over the trunk of props that I get, which is like every clown prop you can think of, and I grab a couple hula hoops out, like a couple like collapsible ones,
Mhm.
and I just hand them over to him after he gets his little outfit on.
Mhm. Yeah, and he's in his clown outfit, looking a bit more bold now, and he kind of takes one of the hoops around his arm and starts spinning it, and then moves it over his head, and it starts to come down around his chest and then his hips, and he goes, "It's like, wow, I didn't know I still knew how to do this."
That is awesome. You're doing to be great. You can do your hula hoop routine, and I'll do some stuff around you to keep the eyes on you, and it'll be perfect.
Okay, thank you. This is, wow, I didn't. And he just puts on a beautiful smile. It's like, oh, he's so
And as he
happy.
smiles, I take one of those like outrageously large like makeup like poofs and just hit him in the face. And when I hit him in the face, it's just instant clown makeup.
Instant clownification. I love it. Yeah. All right. Okay, so it sounds like we're starting to get a game plan here about what the performance is going to be. So I think now, well, maybe in a bit we'll go to break, but first I would like to just give everyone a chance to, if there's anything else you want to do to kind of lay the groundwork for this performance, either learning more about the area, about the participants, now is the time. Otherwise, we will go to break.
I don't think Grace has anything. They're just going to take the trunk, and I'm just going to wing it for my performance. But they're going to stay in the wagon until they're announced, so that they're going to make a big entrance out of it.
Calibri, Genta?
Gento's just going to be like, what are we gonna do during the performance, right? That's the question.
Or more like, we'll come up with your acts after the break, but kind of more just like, what's the tone you're going for?
Gento's going to be like, everyone can hear this. Gento's going to be, we're gonna be poetic but fun. That's the balance we're gonna go for a ghost. Because for someone, and then goes on into like a whole a whole speech about someone named Barbara Hitchens. Sounds like someone who would be like poetic, since she's probably academic in that sense, and then also like is fun. Maybe that's why she's staying here, to give more fun to the people. Probably not true, but Yato doesn't know that.
All right. Calibri, Calix, anything else you want to do?
I think Calibri's a little bit intrigued as to like, well, there's some things around is old. And compared to that, the ghost of Barbara's probably relatively new. And Colby's like, now I just need something blue. Is probably going to just I think wants to just like keep an eye out. I don't know, like wants to like kind of just stay in tune with like the forest around them and kind of keep on a lookout for a shift in the winds.
All right. That's fine. We can. Well, you do have a move called When You Watch for Your Chance, if there's something specific you're looking to do. Otherwise, we can just leave it at that.
That's true. I think, yeah. I think watching for your chance could be good. I think they're kind of like, eventually, this ghost or this creature is going to show up to our show or to our little shindig. And when it does, I think they want to like, I don't know, like invite them into the performance, like regardless of if they seem happy or upset that we're here. Be like, no, it's fine. Join the
All right.
song. It'll be perfectly okay.
That's great. Roll for it, please.
Oh boy. Oh no. All right. What's my modifier to this? Probably not anything high enough. Dun, dun, dun. That's a 4.
All right. On a misc, ask the MC what goes wrong. They might have you choose one anyway. So I will let you choose. Eventually, the ghost will appear, and when it does, you will invite her to join the audience. You'll find out how that works out for you when it happens. And I think that seems like a good place to take a 10-minute break. So thank you all for stopping by, and we will see Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Good to see you all once more at Stone and Starlight Carnival here on the Critical Misses Twitch channel. If you are just joining us now, this is a game of Under Hollow Hills, a role-playing game by Maggie and Vincent Baker, following the exploits of the Stone and Starlight Carnival, a fairy circus that is currently performing in the mortal realm. Quick recap. A group of 5 college students, Laura, Mark, Paula, Jude, and Violet, thank you, all trekked up from their college campus to the old graveyard in the middle of the woods, where they happened to run into Grace, who had taken a wrong turn somewhere and crashed right into them. Grace was shortly afterwards followed by the rest of the circus, who had come looking for her. There they met the humans. Violet, the one who seems to know a bit more about all of this than everyone else does, invoked host rights to formally claim the circus as her guests. And then the circus was invited to put on a performance, which they agreed to when they realized that this may be the key to summoning a ghost that the students had come up here to invoke in the first place. And we also know that there is something ancient in the woods, something big and powerful, not malevolent, but watching. And one of the students is now being turned into a clown as we speak. We have figured everything out. Now we just need to plan the show itself. So, as before, we need to figure out what acts we are going to be putting on. So so think about it for a bit. Who's going to be playing the role of ringmaster, if anyone? What performances you want to put on, etc. Yes, and we also have NPCs that can hop in to fill a space if necessary.
Part of me wants to say that this is such an informal thing that we don't need a ringmaster at all. Like, we're performing for an audience of less than 10 in the middle of a graveyard. We don't even have a tent. So,
and if you want a tent, you can have a tent, but
that's true. That's true.
But I do think it's fair. Plus, I think performing in the open air brings a certain ambiance to the graveyard.
No, the open air is definitely a good idea.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so no ringmaster for this performance then. A little more freeform, a little more loosey-goosey.
Well, we've got Grace and Jude. Jude's clown
Grace
act.
and something else. Jude has to make a clown name still. We'll get to that.
True.
They need a clown name. They can't just be Jude. Who wants to watch Jude the clown? We have our fire breather too, right? That's with us. They could probably do something that doesn't burn the graveyard down, I'm assuming.
If you want an opener from one of them, you can, yeah.
Well, we could do maybe right before a different act, maybe near the finale, they could do their fire breathing act and then like breathe all the candle fire back in.
Oh, that could be cool.
Make things a little dark and spooky.
That's spicy.
Gento would like to perform.
Yay.
Gento would like to perform music.
Oh, okay.
Oh, more rehab?
You'll see.
Oh boy! Colibri, like, they grow up so
right.
fast.
All right. Gento, will you be the opener?
Sure, I think it would fit as an opener, yeah.
Gento with a musical act as our opener. Wonderful. Who would like to follow that?
I think since Jude is participating and it's for their friends, I feel like Jude should be the finale.
Aw.
So I'm just going to be
Okay.
doing background shenanigans around him to try to like put him front and center.
Mhm.
Okay. Seems like we're almost working backwards here.
We got the opening, we got the end. Now we just got to fill the middle.
What happens in the middle? Nobody
Since-
knows.
Since I did a pseudo acrobatic thing last time, I want to stick to that and do because we're open air, like the acrobatic art where they use like that big metal hoop and
Ooh.
like twist around
Oh.
it. Yeah.
Could be cool.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Like we've got some like traditional circus stuff here, and then you've got your Cirque du Soleil shit you're also doing. I love
I
it.
think
Mhm.
I think Cal is also he's definitely afraid of falling after last time when
Aw.
he screwed up. Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody
But he
has
has
those
best.
days.
Hey, Chad, does anyone know
No.
what the word is when you're like in a hoop like that and spinning around? Because it's really
I
cool, but I don't know the name for it.
I really think it's just
Gyroscopics. I don't know.
wait, no, not the aerial one, but I'm talking about
Aerial
the one on the
hoops.
ground though. Not the a sear wheel is what it's called. CYR or a mono wheel.
I'm gonna go with mono wheel. That's
Mono
a
wheel.
little easier to say for me. All right, cool. So we got Gento with the music, Calyx on the mono wheel. We've got Grace and Jude as the finale clown act. Calibri, do you have anything you'd like to perform? And remember, anyone, you don't have to perform if you'd rather take a backstage role in this case. You know, working the lights, etc.
Ooh, working the lights could be fun. I was gonna say, I was feeling something more magic, but that could be maybe more of like a behind the scenes sort of tricks of the light and sound, perhaps.
All right, so
Assisting
we can have
everyone else.
Yeah, Calibri can absolutely be taking a backup role here and providing the special effects.
I mean, you can fly, so you can get some like dope angles with the special effects above us and stuff. So.
Yep.
Exactly.
Maybe got like a bullseye lantern or something like that for a spotlight. There's a lot of ways to
Mhm.
handle it.
Yes, it
Calibri is our tech producer.
Yeah, you know. We
Love
All right,
it.
so
just,
right
like,
now we've
take it
got.
out.
All right, so now we've got 3 acts. Do we feel like we need one or two more, or do we think this is good?
We could still keep our fire breather in between, maybe.
Bally Bello Bess can absolutely entertain everyone for
They
a bit.
they can go before the finale, so they can do that lights out thing with the candles, and then
Oh.
I can try to make the clown finale a little spooky-ish to try to bring our ghost friend out.
Okay. All right, so our program, Gento with a musical act, Calyx performing on the mono wheel, Bally Bello Bess, fire breathing fire, and then finally our clown finale. That sound like a plan to everybody?
Sounds good to me. I already have Blink the Clown's entrance music stuck in my head for the clown act. I'm ready.
Okay, great. All right, since this is a very informal affair, there's no tickets being sold, there's no refreshment stand being set up, no side acts anywhere. Instead, you have a clearing in the center of the graveyard, the whole area lit up under a sky full of stars. The air is full of fireflies flitting about, along with candlelight. Excuse me. The whole thing. Oh, yes.
Instead of tickets, could I make sure all of the mortals in the audience, I suppose, since one of them is not there, can I make sure they all have a candle?
Yes, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
I
so-
have something too. Stanley's going to roll the barrel that has the bottomless junk in it to them. And when he opens it with his horn, it's just going to be filled with PBR.
Like, is it like you got like? Is it like full of cans of PBR, or is it just a barrel full
No,
of beer?
It's just the beer, and there's just a ladle on top for them to use to drink out of it.
And I think I think Mark kind of looks and goes like, "Oh, be still my heart," but nevertheless takes it. So like the four of them, so Calibri, you shuffle the four audience members, having them sit on probably just the blankets that they brought with them as they were going to be sitting here. Each of them is holding a candle in their lap. Each of them has they've been served PBR in I think a few of them's like had to. I don't think you have any cups, so it's like they have like. Oh, you okay? This
We
is
want teacups.
They're drinking PBR out of beautiful ceramic teacups.
I'm obsessed.
This is amazing, and a pretty accurate experience description of my college experience. And
Liberal arts colleges.
Mm-hmm. You got to make your own fun when you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, I know.
I remember.
And yes, and then soon, Calibri, you leave them. After a little bit, some of the fireflies start landing on gravestones, and a bunch of rabbits kind of hop up between them and sit down, and a couple foxes too in the background just watching their tails swishing in the grass. You've got more than just four people. You've got more than four beings watching you, I should say. And we will open with no introduction, Gento the troll.
Gento just goes forward. Okay. It's my time to shine. And Gento kind of does this with their hands. And you see tiny grains on their fingertips. And then you suddenly see all kinds of birds come from the cart towards Gento, lands on their shoulders, and then says, "Remember what we practiced? Okay. I have a song as something to call to this ghost. I hope the ghosts like it because I just made it up. I think it's a shanty or not. Depends on you. Okay, let's go." And then Gento does this with their hands, just wiggles it, and then goes, "I knew of a circus where fun is the locus. Tweet, tweet, tweet. We summon a ghost. I hope no one gets lost. Tweet, tweet. We have a performance after. Now we know better. Tweet, tweet. Than to go without a plan. That's it. Chinan!"
Oh my god. Paku, you are the best. All right. I think for that, I'm going to ask you to roll to open up to someone to see how that performance goes.
Oh no. Hold on. What is Gento's open up to someone? Aha, -1. Oh yeah, 7.
All right, on a 7 to 9. So first off, before you even ask these questions, the students are thoroughly charmed by your performance. Some of them are laughing, some of them are smiling. Even Mark is smiling a bit despite himself. Yes. And on a 7 to 9, choose one. You reveal to them what you'd like them to do. Reveal to them something you're considering and judge their reaction to it. Offer them something, explicitly or implicitly, or confide in them and explain something to them. So this can also be metaphorically as well. Like you don't need to...
Okay. I will choose the first one. Reveal to them what you'd like them to do. If they accede, offer them a reward or a favor, but if they refuse, you may consider it an insult.
Mm-hmm. All right. What would you like them to do?
Gento would like everyone to be as open and welcoming to the ghost, especially the ghost. Because Gento would like the ghost to like come hither, but not in that way. Just come hither, show up.
All right. All right. I think in that case, yeah, the humans in the audience lean forward. The rabbits and foxes do as well. And maybe it's your imagination, but you feel a certain chill in the air despite the warm summer evening, and a wind stirring in the grasses. So it seems like maybe you've gotten somebody's attention.
Lovely. Gento's going to be like, I've done my job. And then Gento's going to be like, going to like go pick some weeds, but also if there are flowers anywhere, Gento's also gonna pick that. At some point during the whole thing, you might see Gento up on a tree where there are also flowers, and they start to like craft something.
Okay. So you leave the ring, for lack of a better word. Next up is Calyx.
So Calyx will come out with the wheel, but also a book underneath their arm. It's like, who wants to do audience participation?
I'm going to have to ask you to roll to draw someone out.
That is fine. That is 5.
Total?
Yeah, total.
All right. All right. I'm still going to...
If you say no one, I'm going to just make one of our circus NPCs do it. So.
No, I think it's more fun if one of the kids does do it. But I think because you got a 5, it's Mark. Of course it is. It's like, kind of go like, yeah, sure, okay, I'll do it, I guess. And also as a consequence of that, I'm going to ask you to step towards winter.
Okay.
The chilly reception chills your heart a little bit. So you can change one of your summer images to winter imagery and take one away from one of your plays and add one to one of your plays.
Okay. So in terms of appearance, the antlers that come from Calyx's head kind of sort of like frost. They have sort of like this like chrome snowy tinge to them now.
Nice. All right. But you do get your volunteer. He does step up.
Okay. And they will put the book in his hands, be like, all you have to do is read this out loud. Can you do that?
He like is about to say yes, opens the book to make sure it's a language he can read, and goes, yeah, okay, I can do it.
Okay. I'm sure you'll be a great narrator. And in the book is like an old kind of like children's fae folktale, which will be used as kind of like the story that Cal will interpret in his acrobatics.
Oh, cool. So I'm gonna say, so he begins to read. Before we get into that, I just realized we skipped a step, which is Gento, you have the opportunity to invoke one of the circus powers that we can then vote on to use. So, quick review: the magic of the circus allows you to perform great things. Things you can do with that is you can advance, hold, or turn back the season of this place. You can captivate someone in the audience by name or captivate the audience as a whole. You can change someone's fortune. You can give this place its voice. You can make the audience dance to your tune. You can turn the circus's course towards Fairyland. So if you want to head back to Fairyland, that would be one way to do it. You can turn the circus itself towards summer or winter, or you can perform another act of power that you can come up with yourself. Do you know which of those powers you'd like to invoke?
I do want to invoke Give This Place Its Voice.
All right. So now everyone has a chance to vote on that. Remember, you have 2 votes, so you don't have to vote on everything. So all in favor of giving this place its voice. All right. We have so we have unanimity. So a majority means that the place can speak freely on its own. Ask the MC what it says. A unanimity means that furthermore it can act for the moment on its own behalf. All right. So in that case, what does it say? So I think as Calix's performance starts to begin in earnest, Gento, from your perch in the tree, you notice something large coming closer through the woods. Despite its bulk, it moves surprisingly silently. It stands on 2 feet, kind of slightly dinosaur-shaped but covered in feather, with an owl-like face. And as it passes by you, it looks at you with these 2 huge saucer-shaped eyes. And for a moment, you realize that's recognition. And you realize that you have the circus has the approval of this place. All right, Calix, back to you. So Mark is reading aloud from this children's story, fairy children's story. What is the story about, and how is Calix interpreting it?
The story is a tale of it's basically meant as like a you should behave, but also if you don't behave, we'll forgive you kind of story. So it's a tale of 2 siblings, one who kind of goes off the rails of like community wishes and is out and about, kind of like adventuring and just doing things that aren't necessarily approved of, and the other that like strictly stays academic and regimented and all of that, and how both of them struggle and both of them find success in the end, just on 2 different paths.
Wonderful. And I think it makes a lot of sense for Calibri to be collaborating with you on this to make sure that the light, the play of light in your steel hoop really sends that message home. So what does that look like as you 2 use light and movement to tell this story?
I think maybe each of them has a color.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
I think Colibri is like changing the color and the angle of the light, depending on like which like sibling like Calix is like performing as or kind of representing in a given moment. And maybe there's a fun little moment where like there's a duality of like both colors coming together. Like maybe it's like a little red, a little blue, and then it makes a little bit of purple.
Aww. Wonderful. All right. All right, and finally, how do you finish out this performance? What's the climax?
I think at the very end, kind of like with some magical help, because I don't think that this would happen without it. I set the wheel to spin like the way that you can spin a quarter, and I use magic to kind of like make a set of like invisible stairs, just like 1 or 2, so I can get on top of it and like flip off and land.
So you flip off and land in a very cool way.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say the roll to stick that landing will be standing regal before someone.
Okay. I really can't roll much worse than I did on the last one.
Mhm.
I'm being tested. I'm being tested.
Oh no.
I got a 5 again with different.
Oh,
The
no.
dice technically rolled better, but I have a less good modifier.
Dang. Is there any
So-
way I can like help? This way.
Uh,
I don't know if it
I just
needs
want
to,
one
actually.
performance to go well. I just
actually, sorry. Let
not
me.
fair.
I believe you can help. Actually, 1 second. Let me double check on how that works. But when you help someone out, what does it do?
Is it call for a line?
Call for a line is when you ask for a suggestion on how to handle something.
Mm.
Yes. Okay. So, Calibri, if you want to help, roll to draw someone out.
Okay. Got it. Please be a 7. Please be a 7. Oh, thank God it's a 7.
All right. So, describe to me how you salvage this, salvage the ending.
Okay. I think Klee really kind of starts to notice at like the last second that like the kind of like ending twist off into like Regal's stand isn't quite going to work. There's just something a little bit off in like the sound of it. And I think goes for like a dramatic like cutaway of the lights from being on Calyx to like something amongst the trees. Kind of like just draw like kind of taking the light show and giving it a little bit more life to be slightly off of Calyx for a moment, such that like they have a way to right themselves, and then when the light show goes back, it's like ta-da! This was supposed to happen the whole time.
Yes, and thanks to your quick thinking and cooperation, you and Calyx managed to get this ending the way you want it, and the audience does applaud, and even Mark looks impressed. However, I'm going to say that the consequence of that failed roll from earlier is Calyx. There's this moment that you and Calibri look at each other, and you know that right now you are in Calibri's debt. And for a fairy, that is a very powerful thing. Your very nature demands that you make good and deliver the balance whenever possible. And it's up to Calibri to decide when that balance is paid. But that's a discussion for another time. What circus power would you like to invoke at the once you finish this performance?
I had a plan, and then I was like, maybe I shouldn't do it if I've shifted towards winter, but I think it's even more tragic if I still do it. So there are two people you said that looked at each other bashfully upon the mention of a marriage. And I would like to use my circus power to like encourage their closeness, like have them both be moved by the performance in a way that is bonding.
Okay, so with that, so that sounds like performing your own act of power, actually, in that particular case. I don't think any of the other ones particularly fit that one, which is fine. So yeah, let's call that for a vote. Remember, everyone only gets 2 votes, so be careful. All in favor? All right. So we have a minority. A minority means that in the moment you can feel that you do not have the power of the circus at your command. You may use a different circus power instead if you choose, or else ask the MC and the other players what goes wrong.
There's no option that's like it doesn't happen.
And the option that it doesn't happen is you choose a different circus power.
Okay. Let me think on circus powers. I really can't. I don't want anything else to go wrong.
So I'm gonna say, just in that case, we won't call for another vote. It'll just happen if you choose another circus power. So
you already called forth the spirit or whatever it is. Is there a way to double down on that?
I'm going to say I don't think so. I think you can't have doubles of those. This place has its voice now.
Okay.
So remember, some other things you can do are you can change the seasons, you can captivate the whole audience or someone in the audience in particular. You can make them dance to your tune, or you can move the circus towards fairyland, or turn the circus itself towards summer or winter.
I think let's turn the circus towards summer.
Okay. In that case, yeah, both you and Calibri are the only ones who have stepped to winter so far, so you both step back towards summer.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. As that happens, as you kind of take in the warmth and the glow of this beautiful place in the mortal world, and step towards summer, we have our third act, Ballybellow Bess, the fire breather. This woman comes in. She's in a bright orange outfit, and she begins to do her thing, swallowing the torches, belching out fire, shaping it into fantastical colors and shapes, feats of, just things that fire doesn't normally do. She actually grabs Laura's candle and eats it, and then burps it out again, essentially, and the fire is another color now. She hands it back to Laura, and Laura just kind of carefully puts it aside. And I think as this is happening, this might be a good time for Calibri to decide what circus power she would like to invoke.
Ooh, we still haven't seen a ghost. We've seen.
Yeah.
We felt the place.
Yes, we felt the place. So the ghost has made its presence maybe known briefly at the beginning as well. So if you want to appeal more directly to the ghost, you could captivate someone in the audience by name.
Oh, yes. Yes, that was the thing I was looking at earlier. That's a great idea. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I think that's the move.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe there's some kinship between being a ghost and being fire manipulated into different shapes in the air. Who knows?
Yeah. And you have control over the light and shadow in this little world you've created, and that is very appealing to ghosts. All right. All in favor of captivating the ghost of Barbara Hitchens? 1, 2. All right. That is a majority. All right. Majority means that they try to meet the performers after the performance to offer them praise, opportunity, and/or largesse. And for flavor, I will say you do see the shape of a woman kind of in the back, behind, just outside the graveyard, away from the prying eyes of the animals and the human beings in the audience. But she floats there. She is a stately older woman, appears to be in her 60s or so, dressed in a 19th century funerary gown. So in her best, and she looks sad but also touched. And you lock eyes for a moment, and you'll have a chance to speak with her after the show is over. And after a final flourish of fiery, oh man, I couldn't think of another good F word. Oh well. Of fiery beauty, Bally Bellow Bess takes her bow and gestures to Grace's wagon to introduce our finale.
Okay. So before we go out, I turn to Jude and I'm like, okay, you're gonna need a clown name. Jude's okay, but we're gonna need something that pops. Like my clown name when I'm like this, and I just gestured to the way I look now, is the honeysuckle hedonist. What do you have in mind?
Well, I've always liked Cookie.
Cookie, I love it. Okay, cool. So I got an idea. I'm gonna need you to get really close to me. I'm gonna use some magic, and we're gonna go out, and we're gonna get right to it. I'm gonna have Stanley meet us out there, and you can stand on Stanley and hula hoop from on top of him, and he'll move
Okay.
you around the area.
Okay.
You got this. Okay,
I got
ready?
this. Ready.
I like wave my hand to use some fairy magic, and I surround us in a giant rubber ball that looks just like the ball that was in the Rugrats intro, the one that bounced around. Like that ball just bounces out of the cart into the middle of the clearing, and when it lands, it pops, and we're just standing there. And I do a pose, and I elbow him to also pose with me as the light hits him, and I'm assuming he probably freezes up for a second. But I have a move specifically for clowning around, and I just, as the thing starts, I want to trip it gaily.
All right. Trip it gaily. The best way to trip.
Right?
Happy Pride Month.
No.
Happy Pride.
So that is a 6 on the dice, but with a +2, that makes it an 8.
All right. So on any hit, choose as many of the following as you like in any order, repeating freely as quickly as you can, and end with a finale. So there's a whole list of things you can do.
Yep, and with a 7 and 9, I choose 4 to 5 before the finale. So that whole bounce out, I'm going to count as our first one, like our grand entrance. And then as we land, Stanley will fly into the clearing, and I will boost Cookie up onto the back of him and produce a hula hoop from behind my back and hand it to him. And now we'll begin with our lovely new act, Cookie in the amazing hula hoop with the assistance of Stanley. And I'll gesture for Stanley to start like buzzing around the area, not super high because Stanley can't keep that much air, but just kind of like buzzing back and forth. So that'll be like the second move, and then as he does that, I will, because the lights are out now from the fire breather, right? She like took the candles out.
Oh, I thought she was going to do it after your performance.
No, I
So
wanted
you
to
had
do
the
it
light.
before mine.
Okay, then flashback. She inhaled all of the candles.
Perfect. I'm gonna pull out a unicycle, and I'm gonna pull out the scrolls, and I'm gonna light the inside of them, and I'm gonna juggle those around and kind of like ride around Stanley and Cookie to like keep the ambience and the light around him to kind of illuminate from behind him as I juggle. And then I'll say, let's see. I will gesture in the air for Colibri to do like a spotlight on him as he does his big finale for the hula hoop and gets it ready, like does that like his full little move where he throws it up and catches it and does like it goes all the way down his body and stuff. And then as he catches it, the finale, I throw a scarf and I start to ride around him to like wrap him up with it. And then I like spin the unicycle and just like twirl him till like it unlooses it, and I catch him and dip him for the finale.
Oh. Yep, that is great. Crowd goes wild for those amazing acts of clownery, and of course, applause for their friend doing his best to hula hoop in a clown costume on top of a giant wheel. Yes. I think I'm going to call for another roll just to, since this is also the finale of the show. I am going to, I'm going to ask you to roll to open up. Roll to open up.
Open up.
And this is opening up to the audience as a whole. In this
That
case.
is great, because that's the one general move that I put +2 in. And I needed it because I rolled a 5, so that's a 7.
All right. Choose one from the list.
Okay, open up. And let's see. We open up to someone. I'm gonna reveal to them what I'd like them to do. And I'm gonna direct this more towards Cookie. But I kind of want him to take center stage and like soak up the spotlight as I kind of like fade away to like have him have his final moment.
Oh, yeah,
and that's gonna tie into my circus power too.
Oh, okay. Cookie does so, taking center stage and bowing. All of that previous shyness and fear temporarily gone as she mugs like she's in the center of a stadium rather than in a graveyard with 4 of her friends. And what circus power are you using?
I am going to use acknowledge or celebrate a change in the circus's roster.
Okay, so sorry, backing up on that. So that one is specifically for bringing dead circus performers back.
Oh.
So, sorry.
We really are trying to get kidnapped.
If you really want to come with a circus therapist, you could change the more fortune. That is an option you can have. Though I will also say you may want to consider turning the circus towards Fairyland if you want to go back to Fairyland.
Yeah, let's turn it back to Fairyland. These kids can just come with us.
Is that the only way that we can go back?
It's not the only way, but flavorfully, it just makes sense.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's go to Fairyland.
And essentially, it would have been either you go back to Fairyland or you do like one more show in the mortal world before going back. Is how this would go. So if you want to go back to Fairyland, you may want to turn.
Let's go back to Fairyland.
All right, all in favor. Sorry. Who's voting for this one? I saw kind of some hands kind of going up and then kind of.
I'm out of votes.
I think I might be out of votes.
Oh, okay.
All right. Oh wait, no, wait. I saved one. I think.
Okay.
Yes, just kidding.
Well, either way, a splitter minority means that you remain in the world you're in. So,
Darn.
All right, still in the mortal world for now.
At least now we get to see what's up with this ghost.
Yeah, that's true. And you wouldn't immediately just go like it's not like instant teleport back to Fairyland. It would just be send you that way. Okay. All right. So you just mean you have a longer road ahead of you. All right. And yes, but that is the end of the performance. Everyone steps out to take their bows one final time. And then as you are starting to, clean up the equipment and everything like that, and I'll say that, which one should it be? Paula turns around and sees the ghost of Barbara Hitchens and goes, "Oh my God! It does like a full-on Scooby-Doo, like a ghost." And the ghost just hovers there, motionless.
I Scooby-Doo jump into Cookie's arms, and I'm like,
Gento, having seen this, kind of like goes towards the ghost, kind of like, they're getting their bearings already, and then they actually was making another wreath, but this time from the surroundings of this graveyard. Goes up to the ghost and says, "Made you this. Where's your grave so I can offer it?"
The ghost of Barbara Hitchens slowly lifts her arm, and gestures to a gravestone not far from where she's hovering.
Great. Then Gento, without another word, just goes there and places it gingerly.
Yes, and she nods her head to you in acknowledgement of your gift, and reaches out again and drops a string of pearls in your hand.
Gento's like seriously considering eating it before remembering what pearls are actually, and then keeps it in the pocket and says, "Thank you, but now I'm sleepy," and then goes to the cart, but not does not go inside the cart. Just leans against BB, who is on the ground, and then kind of like tries not to nod off, but like, mm.
Adorable. All right. What else do the rest of you do?
I would like to kind of flit down to Violet and kind of just go, "Here's a chance. Oh, gracious host."
You mean with the ghost?
That was the whole point of all of this, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. She kind of leans in towards you and goes, I didn't actually believe in ghosts or fairies until now. But she walks up to the ghost and says, "Hello, my name is Violet Stone. I'm a student here. I just wanted to say it's an honor to meet you, Professor Hitchens. Oh God, I really hope you're not racist." And the ghost just kind of nods her head and smiles, and says in a voice that sounds a bit like raindrops on stone, says, "You do our school credit." And Violet kind of begins to choke up a bit at that.
Did you say earlier that this was part of their like pre-graduation like ritual? Like,
Yeah, it's a tradition, not a formal one, just kind of something, it's like you got to go to the old graveyard in order before you leave, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think Calibri, despite knowing that it was technically an informal thing, goes like, "You've done what you needed to do to graduate. Congratulations."
You're an adult now.
Yeah. The eyes of your peers will now see you as a leader, right? That's how this works. Now you get like a title of some sort, and everyone will look up to you and be astonished and amazed.
All right, Calix, what are you up to?
Calix doesn't really take failure well. And this is his second in a row. But he is trying to hold it together because they are in front of people who are their audience still. So I think he's kind of just found a seat in the grass with the rabbits and foxes that were watching, and is attempting to give them a little snack.
Yeah. I think these forest creatures recognize you for who and what you are, and allow you to. They allow you to graciously feed them. They
How kind of them.
Yes. But I think as you're doing that, you think you see, kind of out of the corner of your eye, a very large stag watching you intently.
I will look back at it and attempt to catch its eye. I want it to know that I'm looking back at it.
Mm-hmm. Are you attempting to do the move you have where you are meeting someone's eye, or is that just more you're just literally just looking at them?
I think I would be attempting to draw them out in some way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Roll to draw somebody out then.
Now the good roll. That is a 10.
Great. So you get to ask two of the following, and one of them can be, I do indeed get you to do what I want you to do. So which do you ask?
Well, I think the second one, I guess, will be the I do what, or you do what I want you to do. Wow, those are seriously some words. And I want to know, what do you expect and how do you feel about it?
So what do you expect and how do you feel about it? So I think you know, as you lock eyes with this deer, that this is a servant of your father. And you know that this deer, you know what, it does not necessarily expect anything. You know what is expected of it, which is to report on you and what you are doing and report back to your father. And the deer feels fine about it. It's like, yeah, this is a thing. I have been called on by the king of the forest to report on his missing child. And what's your second question?
Where are you open to me? Where are you vulnerable? And where are you guarded? And I guess in that I am trying to discern if it has any sort of loyalty to me, or if it will listen to me if we try to talk.
All right. So I think to kind of answer all of those, this deer regards you as royalty, as what you are. And although you don't outrank your father, obviously, you know that this deer is duty bound to show all deference to you that your station demands. But it won't go against your father either, though.
Okay. I will kind of check my 6, make sure that no one is watching me, and then I will approach it.
Mm-hmm. And the deer inclines its head, the antlers matching your own somewhat as it does.
Have you been here long?
I have been here for many seasons.
Allow me to rephrase. In this particular clearing, have you been here long?
Yes, I have. When you visited the old stone circle earlier, your presence was felt, and I followed. My apologies.
Don't apologize for doing your job. I'm not that kind. think he is very at odds with himself. We're like, I would appreciate if you didn't speak lowly of me whenever it is you report back.
I have seen nothing tonight that would put you to shame.
Well, I can deal with that. Is there anything you require?
Perhaps a salt lick if you have one.
I actually do have one back in the cart, but I can get it for you.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty.
Just Cal is fine.
Thank you, Your Cal.
It's a good one.
All right. As you go to retrieve a salt lick for this deer, Grace, what are you up to?
I think F's they're all chatting and we're trying to listen in, me and Cookie over here. I'll jump out of his arms and put an arm around him. Not bad, kid, but I think we need to refine it and you need to come back and do more. Do you want to join us? I mean, you graduated now, right? Wasn't that the test? We found the ghost, and that means you're an adult now, so it means you can do what you want to do.
Yes, please. I was going to ask you, and I was really afraid you'd say no. So I thought about asking you, and then I decided not to. But yes, please.
Yeah, you're totally welcome to stay and come. I was totally prepared to roll for this too.
Normally I would have, but like literally, I was more prepared for Jude to have to try to convince you to come. So this works too.
We're not kidnapping them if they are an adult who wants to go with us.
I was just gonna dare him to follow me and have him give into his dreams. That was my whole plan, but that works. Yep. Well, awesome. Cookie, the hula hooping clown. We'll see what else. I have a bunch of other clown stuff in the trunk, and we can see what else you're good with. And then you can do your own act without me next time.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Just just give me a little bit to, get everything set up. But yeah, I'll thank you. And Jude's gonna try to hug you. Cookie's going to try to hug you.
Yeah, I gave Cookie a big hug and lift him off the ground and everything.
Aww.
Way higher than my little frame suggests I should be able to do. And I just yelled back, "Hey guys, we're taking Cookie with us."
What?
Oh, delightful.
I think when you say that, Paula and Violet both go, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, Cookie wants to join. Go tell him, Cookie. And I push him forward towards his friends as I go and skip over to my friends. Well, I let them discuss.
Yeah, and as Cookie approaches his friends, you can see some of that old timidity coming back again. I am actually going to roll for them. See what happens. Oh dang, they got a 10. Good job.
Oh, Cookie.
So Cookie takes a moment and is like, Violet and Paula seem extremely concerned that their friend is going to run off to join the fairy circus. But Cookie says, "Listen, just all my life I've been feeling out of place and nothing made sense, and I was just kind of going with the flow and doing whatever you all want, and I finally found something that I want to do and something I want to be. So I think I'm going to try this for a while." And once that sinks in, there are tearful goodbyes and hugs as Cookie's friends hug him and, tell him that they'll make sure that, they don't know what they're going to tell his family yet, but, hey, it'll be fine. You don't need to worry about that. That's not your job.
He was adopted by a fairy clown. It's totally explainable. I don't know
Happens
the
all the
problem.
time.
Totally normal. Yeah, very typical occurrence.
Yeah, totally.
Mhm. All right. Cool. Right.
If there's like kind of a moment in the hubbub, think Colibri kind of wants to go poke at Calyx for just a moment. And just kind of say, well, we found Grace and apparently Cookie and apparently a little bit more of our summer stuff.
I think after getting the salt lick for the deer, Calix has kind of like stayed in his cart, and so you find him basically with a bristle brush, like looking in a mirror, like scrubbing like where the silver had appeared on his horns when he went winter, like obsessively to make sure that it's gone. I hate coming here. I hate the mortal world. I hate it.
Oh, but they're so much fun. They have strange, bitter alcoholic drinks that doesn't taste good.
I
They
mean,
have
I'm glad that we got Grace and that Grace has a new friend who is a pretty good performer, actually, and I'm sure that they will be a wonderful addition to the circus. And they found their ghost and everything worked out for everyone else. Hooray.
Colibri will kind of like, if you're willing, will take the brush from you and like an offer to help give a once over.
They will hand it to you if you put your hand up. I don't like it when I'm like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I do. It definitely means something a little bit different to you than I think it does to me, but given your history, I don't blame you for not wanting it around.
It's cold. And I don't particularly like the cold. Where are we to go now that we're all gathered? Do we have another job while we're out here?
Oh, I'm sure we can scrounge something up either here or on our way back to Fairyland. I heard a rumor or two about a fun event we could maybe attend.
I'd like that, and I'd like to be out of the woods, quite literally. He's watching me.
Ah, that certainly would add a little bit of bite to your frost, I suppose. I think we can do that then.
Splendid.
Technically, this is your show to run.
It's not my show. Just because I do the announcing, it doesn't make it my show. It's everyone's show.
Yes, yes, yes. It's everyone's show, and yet when we all walk into a room,
You
I don't
flatter
think-
me.
occasionally. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a little upset by the cold. But just like I can't always be soft and sometimes must be sharp, we cannot always be warm or we will burn ourselves out.
I just think that you are alluring when you are sharp, and I am rather off-putting.
Everyone likes something a little different.
Oh, you can say that again.
I will put the brush kind of in front of your mirror.
I'm gonna
All
give
clear.
them and he goes into it's like one of those like crisscross wine racks, And he looks through it and he pulls out a bottle and he goes, as a gift. And then the Violet Girl is going to be like, we shouldn't take gifts from you, but they can take this one. It's fine.
All right, you give these humans a bottle of wine. And yes, Violet does know that you shouldn't accept gifts from fairies, but I think y'all managed to bully them into accepting it.
Also, like a little cloth full of honey cakes.
Yeah, it's like
Aw.
it's not a gift if I just so happen to leave it here, and then when I turn around, you just so happen to pick it up.
It's not like you like them or anything. Okay, great. I think this may be this seems like a great stopping off point, actually, as the circus begins to pack up and leave these woods, and the sun begins to rise over the old cemetery on the outskirts of Elvam College, and 4 human beings wake up feeling like they had the strangest, most odd dream. However, they do notice 2 things that weren't there when they went to bed. One is in the place where Jude was is a note saying, "Thank you for everything. I will miss you, and I love you. See you soon. Love, Cookie." And a bottle of absolutely ancient wine that none of them could ever hope to afford. And meanwhile, somewhere in rural Ohio, the Stone and Starlight Carnival continues on its merry way. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I'd like to once again give everyone a chance to do another round of introductions. Tell us your name, your pronouns, and where we might find you, and any projects that you want to plug.
Last. Hello, my name is Peko. My pronouns are they, them. I am currently on Twitter at Pukipeku. That's Pukepeku. I am a Filipino trans non-binary, variety streamer on hiatus. I'm also a TTRPG person, so I do a bunch of TTRPG things. If you want to check out some of the stuff I've made, my card link is also on my Twitter. I'm also currently a producer for a queer student film, so if you want to support us financially, we sorely need it. The details are in my pinned tweet. Otherwise, just hit me up if you want to collaborate or do something together, because I'm always down for that. I'm gonna pass it along to who passed it along to me last time. I'm gonna pass it along to Allegro. Oh, was it you, Max?
You've already gone to Allegro. Go.
Oh,
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alluring Allegro. You can find me here on Twitch and on Twitter. Technically, there's a Tumblr out there in the wild that I never touch. I am a variety game streamer. Sometimes I participate in mutual aid charity streams. Oftentimes, you can just find me playing games with my friends. And now doing actual plays. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on with me right now. To Max?
Hi, I'm Max. You can find me anywhere that I want you to find me on the internet at Arcane Goth. You can find me a number of places right now. On Neon Lights Roleplay, every other Tuesday, I am in a Yiddish inspired fantasy game in Rogue 2E. I'll also be on Neon Lights this Friday running a a charity game of Monster Hearts, a one-shot for their Pride series of one-shots. A continuation of me GMing Monster Hearts, but still never having played it. The bit goes on and on and on. Then you can find me releasing on the 3rd. I will be a player in a one-shot of Thirsty Sword Lesbians for a little late Pride with Apochramatic. You can find me in person next month, like a month today, at Shaolin Comic-Con, Staten Island, New York. I will be vending as a vendor, so please come check out my table. And at Gen Con, and then Fae Fair also happens at the end of July. I've been talking for like 3 straight minutes. Pluto, say something.
Hey everyone, I'm Pluto. I'm a non-binary queer streamer and game master on a quest to run every game in the known universe. And I'm also a community leader over at the Initiative Order. Stuff to plug. There's a lot, so let me try to do this very quickly. Friday will be the season finale of the podcast that me and my wife run, all about all things tabletop, Afton, and TikTok, called The Gainer Gossip. And our season finale will be up around 7 p.m. Eastern with Dave Walters. So tune in for that. He was a delight to talk to, and we've been saving that to chamber for the finale. On rotating Mondays, on every first and third Monday on my channel on Twitch at Pluto Cleric, I am running an all non-binary table through a Pathfinder campaign where every episode we are raising money for the Trans Empowerment Project. It's a 20-episode campaign, and we are on episode 3 or 4. The whole car accident stuff threw it off a little bit. But tune into that. Every second and fourth Monday, I am over in the Initiative Order playing Frankie Oliver, the Green Arcanite Ranger, in a Power Rangers actual play that is very fun. And then on rotating Tuesdays, we're about halfway through a Dresden Files Accelerator game that I am running, and time has currently stopped working. So that's fun. So we'll see how that unfolds as we get through the midpoint of the series. And that is everything for me. Oh, and follow me everywhere, Pluto Cleric, all the socials.
Yes, and my name is Abby. Once again, you can find me on Twitter and Tumblr at AbhorrentAbby, ABHORRENT, Abby. You can also hire me to do professional game mastering at startplaying.games/GM/Abby I have got games of Dungeons and Dragons, Apocalypse Keys, and Cairn currently available. They're all very fun. The Dungeons and Dragons campaign game is about going on strike against corrupt mining bosses. Apocalypse Keys is about trying to survive northern Michigan, and in Cairn, we're going to be running a dungeon dive into the Gardens of Yin, which is one of my all-time favorite OSR dungeons. So I'm really hoping that some of you would like to sign up for that. We've got some good early bird prices if you would like to try that out. I also appear on actual play live streams here and there. I do not have one that I am regularly a part of. I just go wherever I am needed. So you may find me again somewhere else. Who knows? And yes, thank you once again for joining us. We are going to be raiding from here onto Adventurer's Pack. And until next week, let's go, clowns.
Let's go, clowns!
Oh.